Today, we're diving into a fascinating literary mystery that's been hiding in plain sight in the Bible for thousands of years. It's a structural puzzle that, once you see it, totally changes how you understand one of the most famous agreements in history, the covenant at Mount Sinai. So thousands of years ago, in the ancient Near East, things were pretty formulaic. When a powerful king wanted to make a treaty with a smaller, vassal kingdom, there was a standard script they followed. It was like a legal template, a very clear playbook for how empires worked. And here's where it gets really interesting. The covenant at Mount Sinai, it follows this exact same ancient template. I mean, if you put the biblical text side by side with an old Hittite treaty, the parallels are just uncanny. They mirror each other almost perfectly. But that's the key word, isn't it? Almost. Because there's one critical piece of this puzzle that is completely out of place. It's a glaring anomaly in what is otherwise a perfect pattern. And figuring out why it was moved, well, that changes the entire message. Okay, so let's put this to the test. We're going to put the structure of a standard ancient treaty right up against the Sinai covenant from the Torah, and you can see for yourself just how deep the parallels run. And wow, the pattern is just striking. You can see it right here. They both kick off with an introduction of the powerful king. Then you get a historical section talking about all the good things the king has done. Next up are the rules, the stipulations. And finally, you get a section laying out the blessings for being loyal and the curses for rebelling. The Torah story in Exodus follows this format almost to a T. It's this incredibly neat, perfect parallel that makes the one missing piece of the puzzle so obvious. I mean, once you see the pattern, you just can't unsee what's not there. So, if the pattern holds, what should come right after God gives the 10 Commandments and all the other laws in Exodus? Yep, you guessed it, the blessings and the curses. It's the logical next step in the formula. But when you go looking for it, poof, it's just not there. And this is a huge omission. Think about it. It's like signing a legal contract, but the entire page that details the consequences, the rewards for doing what you promised and the penalties for not, has been completely ripped out. It's the part that gives the rules their teeth, and it's just gone. So where did he go? Well, we do eventually find it. That whole missing section with all the amazing blessings for following the covenant and the really terrifying curses for breaking it, it's not in Exodus at all. It shows up in a totally different book, way at the end of Leviticus, which chronologically is talking about stuff that happens way later. But here's the kicker, the big clue the text leaves for us. At the very end of this section in Leviticus, the last verse straight up tells us that these laws were given on Mount Sinai. The text itself is basically winking at you, saying, hey, remember that big event back in Exodus? Yeah, this part belongs over there. It creates this deliberate tension, this puzzle for us to figure out. And this isn't some newfangled modern discovery. Medieval Jewish scholars like Rashbam and Ibn Ezra were pointing out this exact same weird placement centuries ago. They were already arguing that, logically, this whole section just isn't in its correct chronological spot. So people have been asking why for a really long time. And this is where it all comes together. What if this isn't a mistake? What if it's not just some sloppy editing, but actually a brilliant, deliberate literary choice? A choice with a really profound message about what truly motivates us. To get it, we need to understand a core Jewish concept called Torah Lishma. Basically, it's the idea of doing the right thing, studying, following the commandments for its own sake. You do it because it's the right thing to do, not because you're hoping for a reward or trying to dodge a punishment. It's all about intrinsic motivation. So here's the big idea. By surgically removing the transactional, material blessings and curses from the main Sinai story, the Torah forces us to focus on a totally different kind of reward. The reward that is offered right there in Exodus isn't about getting stuff. It's relational. God says, if you keep my covenant, you shall be my treasured possession, a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. The reward is the relationship itself. The other stuff, the rain, the good harvests, that's all intentionally hidden away for later. And this isn't just some abstract literary trick. The exact same idea, separating the commitment from the consequences, is baked right into the legal process for converting to Judaism as laid out by the great philosopher Maimonides. So check out this process. First, the person wanting to convert is told everything, and I mean everything. The good, the bad, the rewards, the punishments. It's full disclosure so they can make an informed choice. But then, at the absolute climax of the whole thing, while they're literally in the water making their final commitment, the judges remind them of a few key commandments. But this time, any mention of reward or punishment is completely gone. You see what's happening here? This legal procedure is a perfect mirror of the Torah's literary structure at Sinai. It's sending a powerful message. Yeah, knowing the consequences is important, but the ultimate act of commitment has to be pure. It has to be about accepting the path for what it is, not for what you're going to get out of it. So what's the grand takeaway from this incredible literary design? What is the author of the Torah trying to teach us by literally rearranging the building blocks of the text? Well, the Torah isn't just telling us a story about a covenant. The way the story is built is the lesson. By hiding the transactional parts at the key moment of commitment, the text is screaming that the whole point of the covenant is the covenant. It's about a relationship built on love and loyalty, not a cost-benefit analysis. It's a perfect illustration of that famous saying from the ancient rabbis, schar mitzvah mitzvah. The reward for doing a good deed is the good deed itself. The value was baked right into the act, into the connection. The real prize is just getting to do it in the first place. In the end, this ancient editorial choice throws a challenge right back at us in every part of our own lives. It makes us ask, why are we doing what we're doing? Is it for the outcome, for the prize at the end? Or is there a deeper value in the commitment itself? It leaves us with this final, really provocative thought. What if the greatest reward we could ever hope to receive is just the commitment itself?